Christina Formella went to her first court date, maybe second court date, not sure. We got the update on it.
Student.
But you can't even give me like an idea as to what this is about?
Other than it's an investigation, that's all I can really tell you right now. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you more.
I have the very latest on her case, her appearance in court, and one area where her lawyers and prosecutors see eye to eye. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Christina Formella is accused of serious crimes involving one of her former students and an allegation that she had sex with him in her classroom when she was tutoring him before school. Prosecutors say the assault happened at South Downers Grove High School outside of Chicago in December of 2023. A petition for Formella's detention, which was denied, stated, according to the teen, he and defendant had developed feelings for each other. The teen said that one morning in December 2023, before school, he had met up with defendant in her classroom. The teen said that defendant had closed her door, which automatically locked, that they had started kissing, that he had grabbed her butt and she had grabbed his private parts over the clothes, that she had removed his pants and underwear, that they had removed her leggings, and that they had engaged in sexual intercourse while standing up. Now,
wait, that's so much detail. That's so much detail. What is this, bro? This is a graphic novel, bro. What is this? Hold on. She left out the part where he said he was wearing a condom also. Okay, good for him, brother. Good for you, brother. Respect, bro. Shout out to you, gang. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't trying to get her pregnant. Smart man. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Why did they give so much detail? It's insane. Like, remove it. Sex standing up is even crazier. Intercourse standing up is insane.
And that they had engaged in sexual intercourse while standing up. Now, the student's mother went to police in March after she started setting up a new iPhone for him, and police said she discovered text messages between her son and an unknown number. The woman's son wrote in one of the texts, "I love you so, so much, Mama." The unknown number texted back, "I love you so much, baby. Even though this morning was short, it was perfect." The teen messaged back, "I know, baby, it was perfect. So perfect." The unknown number then texted, "I love having sex with you." The teen responded, "I know, baby, I love it so much."
Bro, like, she literally just... This case seems so, like, signed, sealed, and closed. Like, I don't know what the defense could even do because they got to work their way around. Like, they definitely... She's like, "I love having sex with you" is crazy.
It feels so good. It's so passionate.
Like, if you were going to do this, wouldn't you even think to yourself, like, don't text? Why would you text it? Why would you just, like, not? Why would you incriminate yourself like that? Like, why would you not think twice? What is wrong with you?
Passionate. It's so intimate.
Oh,
it is
my
so perfect.
God.
Now, the mother had to be livid when she read these text messages. A teacher and her son telling each other that they love each other and talking about having sex in a classroom. This led police to pick up Formella on March 16th.
We do have an investigation going on. We have to talk to you about it at the police department, okay? So we're going to explain everything to you there. It's not my investigation. I don't know the full details. We do have to bring you there, though, okay? So I do have to put you in handcuffs and bring you to the police department. Just a Downers Grove.
Handcuffs?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
I'm like willing to go with you.
I get it, yeah. Unfortunately, we have to do it that way. So do me a favor, we just take this off.
Now, Formella was with her husband.
Bro, if the husband stays after this, boy, that's going to be an interesting development. I haven't seen anything about him putting up any, like, I haven't seen anything about her being divorced yet. I haven't read anything about that or seen anything, but I'm going to be shocked if he stays through this whole thing and, like, somehow they're still married and after this whole trial goes to court and all of that. Like, if they're still married after this, I'm going to be mind blown, brother. Like, how?
It was a Sunday, and she was clearly shocked.
Red Pill going to call him simpy for sure. Major simp vibes.
Can I ask you what?
Of course, yeah. It's not, like I said, it's not my investigation. Obviously, we're here for a reason. So go ahead and turn around for me. So right now, you're just being detained, and there is a detective that needs to talk to you at the police department.
Formella was questioned about the student, and police said that she claimed everyone comes after her because she is good looking. The officer wrote,
"Hey, yo, yo, That's some narcissistic shit right there, bro. That's crazy. She came with the nah. They mad, bro. They just mad because I'm hot. They mad because I'm hot, bro. Why they mad? But nah, like, hold on. This picture though, good job. W picture for sure. Cause I didn't find no pictures that other than the one we're drinking wine. That was this decent actually.
In a court document that Formella denied having sex with the student, but in the same breath said that the relationship was wrong and she couldn't stop it because she cared too much about him. The petition for detention states, when confronted with the text messages found on the student's phone, she claimed that one day the student had grabbed her phone unattended, had entered her passcode, which she allegedly knew because he had seen her type it into her phone one day, had sent the message to his phone, had then deleted the message from her phone, and had saved it to his phone as blackmail, according to defense.
No, bro. She's a narcissist for sure, bro. Bro, in a path of amazing liar, low key. Like, did she come up with that on the spot? That's insane. No way, bro. She said, what? Bro, deleted it from her phone after grabbing her. That's crazy.
And she had no idea these text messages even existed. So according to police, Formella claimed the student had created the text messages that I read to you earlier. Police also said they found a memoir updated the morning of her arrest in the notes section of her phone, and that it was about the student.
The same day?
These were an outlet for her anxiety brought on by the student. An officer said Formella wrote, I'm not upset, I'm not mad, I'm not any of that, I've just lost interest. I went back and screenshotted every single time that I said we should break up until after the wedding and after you graduated. And every single effing time you came back and convinced me it would be fine. I initiated every single breakup, only for you to end things, saying you couldn't get over it. You ruined us. I warned you we should have never started dating a long effing time ago, and you gaslit me and convinced me it was fine every single time because that's who you are. We will never ever be together again. I'm not a second choice.
No, this lady has some real problems because, like, I didn't think about this before, but the fact that, like, she's blaming the kid though. Like, she's mad at him. Like, bruh, that is crazy.
I'm the best thing you'll ever have, even with all of my mistakes. You, once again, waited and strung me along until it was convenient for you. It broke me last time. This time it changed me. I'm not sad. I'm F-word mad that I let a 16-year-old F-word with me like that, and I made a promise to myself that I never will let any guy F-word with me like that again. Now, police said there was a section in Formella's notes entitled Manifestations that read, the teen is going to reach out to me soon and try to fix things between us. In the meantime, I'm going to live my best life knowing he's not the person I thought he was and that he is beneath me. Police said they found another note in Formella's phone from November of 2024 that read, the teen and I will connect again soon in a positive way. We will both get the closure we need in order to move on in a healthy way. We will be able to...
Wait, she must be saying his name. I can't imagine she's calling him teen. Like, that's crazy. If she's called, would
be a part of each other's lives forever. We will be in each other's lives forever. We will be able to love each other while also living our own lives. Formella had referred to the boy as her stalker and that her husband knew about this, but when they asked her husband about him, he only knew about the teen as a soccer player. Now, on March 16th, the questioning by detectives ended.
Oh, she like when the husband found out, she's like, oh, he just like stalks me. He's like weird. He's like kind of strange. He's on the soccer team, but like I don't understand. I don't know why. He's just like weirdly obsessed with me. Bro, this lady is crazy, bro.
Formella was taken to jail.
He just like I don't know. He just like texts my phone randomly. Like, how did he get your number? I don't know. He must have like took my phone and then like he see me punch in my password and then he texted his own phone and then now he has my number and then like what, bro? Bro is falling for it too.
I'm just gonna put your seatbelt on, right? Unless you're able to reach it down there. Alright, sure you don't want a tissue or something?
I'm feeling I'm gonna throw up.
You want a bag?
Yes, please.
Alright. Shauna, can you grab like a bag out of there?
possibly a drunk driver. No complaints tonight, though.
Hey, can you get like a bag just in case she gets nauseous? Yeah. I don't know. Do we have any of those MSS bags like laying around the spot? I figure something better than nothing.
Now, the case has gotten a lot of attention locally in DuPage County and nationally. Here's reporter Suzanne Sarkowskis from dailyherald.com.
It has drawn quite the attention from the public in the Downers Grove area. Hundreds of comments on social media. It's been one of our highest trending stories on the Daily Herald website. So people are interested. I know that the Daily Mail has done some court coverage out here in the past, but it's pretty rare. And that, pretty rare for People to show up out here, People magazine. So I don't know how they even noticed it and, why they're paying attention. But
I ain't gonna lie, I can answer that part. That part is definitely because she actually is pretty. I ain't gonna lie. There's definitely a big part of the reason why they're paying attention to this so much is that she is a pretty girl. That's just truth. That's just truth. Blonde hair, blue eyes, they own it, bro. They want to know about it. Just saying.
Yeah, there's high interest.
Christina Formella appeared in court.
Okay, she got green eyes. My bad.
Her lawyer and her husband were with her.
It was a fairly brief hearing, about 6 minutes in total. It's a large courtroom. She had 2 attorneys with her today. I believe she may have 3 overall. She was arraigned on the charges. The indictment, the grand jury indicted her on April 1st. So today was the first date where she could be arraigned.
April 1st.
So the judge, read the charges and explained them to her and gave the sentencing possibilities, or excuse me, the prosecutor gave the sentencing possibilities. She pleaded not guilty. And then they scheduled a court date for June, where they may set a trial date. They discuss setting a trial date. She was dressed, I would say, very professionally. She's a very petite woman, and that was about it. The rest of the hearing was a discussion of the upcoming date regarding whether we can have cameras in the courtroom.
Now, in Illinois, the prosecutor...
It's going to be a spectacle. I hope they have cameras, bro. Please have cameras, bro. Please have cameras, bro. It's in June, too. I can't wait.
Prosecution, defense, and the judge have to sign off for cameras to be allowed in a court proceeding, and Formella's lawyers are objecting to the Daily Mail's request to shoot the proceedings and share the footage with other media outlets. Formella's lawyer wrote, "The media request here is untimely. The defendant's court appearance on April 14, 2025 was scheduled on March 17, 2025. Daily Mail Online provided the media coordinator with notice on April 9, 2025, and the defendant did not receive notice of the same until April 10, 2025. Daily Mail Online has provided no good cause for its failure to timely notify the media coordinator, the court, and the parties of its request for extended media coverage." Now, her lawyers continued, "Since defendant's arrest, she, her family, and neighbors have been repeatedly harassed by tabloid media reporters seeking to sensationalize this case. Local law enforcement has been called numerous times. And the defense isn't the only side objecting to cameras in the courtroom."
The prosecution feels that way, too. And then the defense feels, besides that, they also feel that, the victim has rights not to have a camera in the courtroom. And even if it's at a point where they're not testifying yet, they could be in the audience, and they say, they don't want pictures taken of the victim. So.
No, come on. Don't be haters, bro. Let there be cameras. Let there be cameras. We need to see this play out, bro. This is going to be peak cinema. Just kidding. It's kind of bad, bro. I don't really mean to bring light to the situation, but this kind of what I do. You know what I mean? I get it. It's fucked up. It's messed up, for the kid. But I want to see the thing play out. I want to see her give testimony. I want to see how she handles it. I feel like she's gonna have a lot of tears. And I just wonder if the judge is gonna have sympathy for her. I wonder if other people in the court, the prosecution is gonna have sympathy for her. Probably not, because they don't care. But I'm just curious, man. I just want to curious how they respond to her body language, how other people respond to her, and like how to respond to the victim as well.
But yeah, the sensationalism is a factor.
The prosecution says the victim and his family do not want cameras in the courtroom. This case has garnered substantial public attention, both in traditional media as well as social media, some of which have sensationalized the allegations in this case. The victim and his family have already suffered substantial embarrassment by the filing of the charges in this case. Despite the use of the victim's initials in the pleadings in this case, based on the facts of this case that are of public record, the victim is easily identifiable by those familiar with him. Any video and photographs of the parties in this case during court proceedings will presumably be disseminated to the public. Upon said dissemination, these videos and photographs will undoubtedly make its way to other media outlets whose main interest is to appeal to the salacious appetite of a certain segment of the population who has a bizarre fascination with the facts of this case. The defense also discussed social media and its objection to having cameras in the courtroom. Photographs of the defendant, body-worn camera recordings, pleadings, and law enforcement reports have appeared on TikTok, Instagram, X, and other social media platforms. Posts and comments have numbered in the thousands. The presence of a photojournalist at the arraignment will create a heightened media spectacle that could prejudice potential jurors and the public against the defendant.
Oh, it's over. It's too late. It's already too public. They already people who know about it, man.
And Christina Formella has pleaded not guilty to these charges. I want to turn now to somebody who has prosecuted teachers in the past for sex crimes. He is Mark Weaver, and he serves sometimes as a judge in Ohio and a prosecutor. So, Mark, just your gut reaction to the allegations in this case. We have a kind of a young teacher, but she's a teacher nonetheless, accused of having a sexual relationship
kind of young
with a student who was 15 at the time. Now he's a little older. But it sounds like, according to what's in her phone, according to what they wrote in the court documents, she possibly still has feelings for him and has a hard time, according to what they've written, letting go.
There's remarkable evidence in this case. Typically, when I'm prosecuting a sex offender, it's a he said, she said thing. Rarely is such good documentary evidence available in her own phone. The excuses she's offered for why she acknowledges this inappropriate and illegal relationship in her phone are borderline laughable. I think jurors might be offended at it. I can't imagine this is going to go to a trial. I think she's going to be pleading guilty and hoping to maybe just limit her prison sentence to 4 or 5 years.
It seems like a lot of times
Dang, I don't know. She seems a little delusional, bro. She might just be like, fuck that. It's going to trial. I never did anything wrong. It was not my fault. It was not me. It was him.
These female teachers, though, and she's pleaded not guilty. She has pleaded not guilty in court. That happened this week. So she's, at this point in the game, her attorney will get the discovery. He will go through it. He'll determine, what he thinks the best course of action in this case should be. But, she claimed, according to the police, that the student got into her phone, somehow knew her passcode and sent these texts and then wanted to keep them as blackmail. She called him, apparently referred to him as, or painted him as a stalker, something to that effect. The husband had no idea who he was other than a soccer player, had no idea about this so-called stalking. I mean, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, the things she wrote in her phone actually correspond with and supports this young boy's account of what happened. So we have his account. We have her own notes suggesting that she was in an inappropriate sexual relationship. And yeah, she's a younger teacher. And at one point she said, because she thinks she's good looking, therefore everyone's picking on her. I don't imagine juries would like that. They're not going to like the fact that this happened. They're not going to like her excuses. They're not going to like this notion of, I'm the pretty girl, so everybody picks on me. This is a tough case for someone to defend. The only way I could see the defense winning a not guilty verdict would be some mistake in the state's case. And I imagine prosecutors are going to handle this very carefully, if for no other reason it's become a very high-profile case.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned 4 or 5 years in prison. You've prosecuted cases where you've sent people to prison. for sex crimes, male and female teachers, coaches, things like that. We've seen some other cases though where female teachers have gotten probation. Not that probation is a walk in the park, but we've seen a lot of cases where these female teachers have gotten like years on probation and not jail time. What do you make of that?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie though, that like I'm surprised that she brought that up, bro, because there's definitely a double standard when it comes to female teachers and male teachers. Like, yeah, I even said in my last video, like, I'm kind of a part of that problem. I'm not gonna lie a little bit. Like, there's just something in my brain that just makes me feel like the men are more predatory towards the younger girls, and the younger boys are not necessarily predatory towards the teachers, but they're a little bit more like, oh, I want to do this, but I don't know. I can't speak for every student, you know, every kid, every boy. But like I said, I talked about in my last video, like when I was 15, 16, there was definitely teachers, you know what I mean? I don't know. And, you know, it's the fact too, also on top of that, like, I know that, like, you know, obviously the mom finally discovered it on her own, but like, he never like offered this up. Like, he didn't tell anybody. He didn't say like, hey, this is going on. Like, and I know sometimes like that can happen because people are scared. You know, they feel like, you know, a little bit like, if I tell on this person, I'm going to be in trouble or I might get hurt. But that's also in the same time, like, I don't think that goes again to the gender roles a little bit there, where it's like male, female, female, male, like young male, older female versus like the vice versa. You got the young male. I don't think he would be worried about like her doing something bad to him. Maybe, but like I know if he wanted to tell it and he felt uncomfortable, I feel like he would have told it. But the mom just discovered it on her own and like put it out there for the world to see. I don't know. Controversial.
It's wrong. The last female teacher / coach who I prosecuted is doing 10 years in prison for having sex with multiple boys, including one as young as 13 years old.
Well, 13 is crazy.
Memo that I filed with
13 is crazy. I think in my mind, like 15 and older is like a different bracket. Under 14 and under is crazy.
The court before the sentencing hearing, I laid out not just the law, but the problems in our culture with this notion that somehow it's a big win for a teenage boy to have sex with an older female teacher. I pointed to the movies and the songs and the television shows that lionize this notion that it's somehow a great thing for a 14 or 15 or 16-year-old boy to have sex with this female teacher. It's wrong. It's child abuse, and it ought to be sentenced the exact same way. And we as a culture should look just as harshly at young female teachers who have sex with students as we would if it were a male teacher.
So,
hey, he just kind of killed my argument a little bit, but not really. I mean, that is what society does, man. It's just how we kind of view it, man. It's unfortunate maybe to a certain degree, but.
Put a defense attorney hat on now. You're going to go through all of the discovery materials, assuming you're going to look at whether or not the phone was seized lawfully, her phone. She may have turned it over. It may have been a consent search, something like that. We don't know at this point in time. You're going to look at all of that stuff. You know, as a defense attorney, do you go to the state and make an offer? I mean, how does that work?
I've not been a defense attorney, but I've worked with dozens and dozens of them over the years as a prosecutor. And they have a kind of a choice at the outset. Go in really hard charging, file motions to suppress against everything used against her, file every possible motion to try to undermine the state's case, which frankly aggravates prosecutors. I'm less likely to want to work out a plea agreement if a defense lawyer is being unreasonable in their pretrial filings. And so that's one path. The other path is to go to them hat in hand and say, listen, let's work something out. I'm sure we can make this work. That's what I mentioned earlier, is her best shot is to go and try to get a very short prison sentence, because she could do 10 or 15 years, depending on how many instances there were beyond the one instance.
15 years?
Allegedly they had sex in the classroom.
Now, this is Illinois.
The in the classroom thing is kind of wild, bro. She was pushing it. She was actually pressing it.
Different state than you practice in, but, you know, neither side in Illinois, the judge, the prosecutor, and the defense have to kind of all sign off on allowing cameras in the courtroom. The media would like cameras to be in the courtroom for the proceedings, but both the defense and the prosecution are in agreement. They don't want cameras in the courtroom. Apparently, the victim is, they're embarrassed. He and his family. The defense doesn't want cameras in the courtroom. Both sides say the case has been sensationalized by some media. What is your response to that?
I taught a law school class at Ohio State for many years, and one of the topics I taught was cameras in court. And there's good arguments on both sides. Some people say we shouldn't have a media circus the way the O.J. Simpson trial became one. Others say this is transparency, and most people can't get down to the courthouse to watch what's happening in their system. I tend to lean more towards the latter. I think there is a transparency. I prosecuted a serial killer, and the entire trial was on television. It was all on crime. And that allowed people who cared about that case to follow it without having to be in the courtroom every day, which is a burden for many people. So I tend to err on the side of allowing cameras in court, but we also have to have a fair trial. I do think there's a way to balance both interests.
Yeah, we want to know.
Interesting. Well, we will see how it works out. Illinois is tricky when it comes to cameras, so we'll see what happens. But she will be back in court in June for another proceeding, but the camera issue will be taken up later this week. But Mark, you said, when you view what we've seen so far in the court documents, you find the evidence in this case to be remarkable.
I'm a little envious of these prosecutors because they've got better evidence than often I have.
I'm not a prosecutor, but I pretty much can tell you that shit happened, man. Ain't no way around it. She got to find something better than what she came up with. Especially that nothing happened is crazy right now. It's pretty much, this is signed, sealed. This is shut. This case is over.
I'm able to prove my case beyond a reasonable doubt when it's a he said, she said. I'll take that burden, but I'd much rather have this documentary evidence. Nothing what she's saying makes sense. It really is the defense of a child who's been caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and it's obvious what they're doing. And so it's not been a smart defense so far. We'll see whether they have something to say. They don't have any burden in court, of course, but we'll see if they have a different theory going forward.
Yeah, it's pretty early in the case so far. And when they picked her up, she did talk to the police. So there's that piece of evidence as well, and they reference that. Mark Weaver, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me.
They didn't really offer a whole lot there, but it was interesting to hear the lawyer talk about it and just kind of what I was already saying. It's pretty much, she gave them everything, man, on a platter, bro. Like the text, the writing about it in your notes, man. I bet she wished she could have started deleting that shit as soon as they got behind her. That's for sure. That's rough, man. You're through. She out of here, boys. She out of here. That's for sure. I don't know, man. She better have some amazing lawyers